Hi everybody and welcome to this week's episode. Now this week the table is looking a little bit bare and a little bit sad, and that's because I've finally got everything out into the garden. I was hoping today that I was going to do an allotment video for you, but as you can tell the great British weather has let me down from only a week ago, where I was saying how gorgeous it was up at the allotment last week. So yeah, bit of a disappointment, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a couple of things I've been up to. So I went on a visit to Cambridge with my sister this week, and I've got some awesome pictures and footage to show you because we managed to get into the Cambridge Botanical Gardens. So I want to show you that this episode. And whilst I was away, it made me think just a little bit about what we do when we go on our summer holidays or when we go for a trip away with regards to our allotments and gardens and making sure they're well looked after. So stay tuned for this week's episode and I'll go into that in a lot more detail. Well, thank you for joining me here again on my channel. It's always great to see you, and I have had a bit of a relaxing one this week, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't actually been up to the allotment this week. My other half has been up for me to give it a good water as I have been away visiting my family, and I've also been up to Cambridge with my sister, which was a really nice trip for us. It feels like I've had a bit of a getaway. I'm also due to go on holiday again next week. We're going to go and visit the Suffolk coast. So a busy 2 weeks for me for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so really excited, really looking forward to it, and a well-earned break, I think. But that did get me thinking all about what people do with their allotments and their gardens when they're away. This year and last year are obviously a little bit different with the COVID pandemic. It hasn't been ideal for holidays. We had a holiday booked to Florida last summer, which we were unable to go on, obviously because of COVID. And we haven't been able to go this summer either. So it just got me thinking about what we're going to be doing again when things sort of start to get back on track, and when we can start visiting places and going on holidays, because things are, especially in the UK, starting to open up a little bit now and we can do things a little bit more freely. So the easy thing is to, obviously, if you're going away for a substantial period of time, is to get somebody else, if you can, to come and water and check on your allotment and check on your garden and make sure things are just ticking over. I can't get my words out today. That is like I say, the obvious choice if you've got a friend or a relative or a neighbour that can just pop in, water things that need watering. Though looking at the weather today, I'd probably tell my neighbours not to bother. But you get the gist. In the summer, the weather tends to be a lot warmer and a lot brighter. But there are times when maybe we haven't got allotment neighbours that we can always rely on, or family and friends like me. My closest family live an hour away, so getting them just to pop over to water the garden every day, not really realistic. So what are some other options that you can use to make your allotment thrive in the summer months? A lot of people, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they just say that basically they wing it. If everything's still alive when they get back from their 2-week venture in Spain, then great. And if it doesn't, and it doesn't survive, then it's their own fault because they shouldn't have gone for a 2-week holiday in Spain, which I kind of get. But I also like to think that maybe we should give our plants the best possible opportunities. It's now raining again. Good Lord. Well, at least I had good weather whilst I was away. But what are the other options aside from asking a friend or a relative or winging it? What options have you got? So obviously you can give things a really, really good drink before you go away. That's obviously big tip number one. Make sure everything is really, really well watered before you leave. Yeah, give it the best possible chance before you go. Oh no. It's really raining now. Oh. Well, that's me not getting out in the garden for the next couple of hours. Anyway, so other tips that I have been given by my friends, relatives, some of these might be a bit too late now because of the time of year, but some people have said when you plant things, water them in, but then don't water them too much. So if your plants get used to being watered every single day and then you go on a 2-week holiday, they aren't going to be searching for that water and those nutrients because they're so used to you providing it for them all the time. I said in last week's video, I don't water my potatoes more than every 10 days. We really do let them fend for themselves and find that water, and don't rely upon me necessarily to water them every day. It doesn't happen. The amount of water that I would need to put on my potatoes to make sure it reaches those roots, ridiculous. So we water infrequently. When we do water, we give them a really, really good water, but it's not frequent. I'm certainly not up at the allotment watering every single day. Maybe every 3 days, sometimes a little more for the polytunnel, particularly if we're having a hot spell, then obviously things will dry out really, really quickly. So going on to watering in the polytunnel, I always make sure the polytunnel in summer, or if I'm going away, is really well ventilated. So doors are always open, windows are always open, just to allow some natural breeze to go through and, you know, just prevent that really, really hot, unbearable temperature that you can get in the polytunnel, because it really, really can take over in there. It's like walking into a sauna sometimes. But I would say if there's one area I'm going to water frequently while I'm away, it's the polytunnel, or if you have a greenhouse, similarly, make sure they get plenty of water. So the other options that you can use are, well, if you can get a system installed in your polytunnel or greenhouse, you can get drip systems which feed your plants for you. You can set them on timers if you have access to a tap. We unfortunately don't at the allotment. We don't have access to a tap, so it's quite difficult. I think you can get some where you can, attach them to water butts, but don't hold me on that. But basically you can get sort of irrigation systems that will water your plants for you on a time and date that you specify. But that again might be much easier if it's your garden at home rather than up at your allotment. I just assume all people's allotments are like mine. I presume that you all have no electricity. I presume that you all just use water butts. We do have a water supply, don't get me wrong. We can use our hose pipe to fill up our water butts, but we can't use our hose pipes to water the allotment or to use sprinklers, because I think people would then use more water than if they had to do it manually by using the water out of their water butts, which kind of makes sense. But apart from that, just make sure the polytunnel and the greenhouse is well watered. So if you're like me and you're in a position where you can't actually do that because you don't have the facility for an irrigation system or anything like that, what we do, if we can't get an allotment neighbour to come and water for us, we get like a 2-litre Coke bottle, and what we do is we flip it upside down so the lid is down, cut sort of maybe the top quarter off the bottle, and then you can get some screw-in things from Amazon, which basically will drip feed all of your plants for you. So it's a really, really easy, cheap way to make sure things like your tomatoes and your chilies and peppers and aubergines and anything that you're growing inside do get a good water. You can buy them in different sizes as well, so you can get smaller ones for plant pots. So if you've got loads of plant pots in your greenhouse, You can stick those in as well. Like I say, cut the bottoms off, cut the tops off, fill them with water, and then they will drip feed your plants for you all summer. So there are actually quite a few things that you can do to make sure your plants do get a good drink whilst you're away on holiday. Let me know in the comments below if you're venturing out this year, if you're taking a holiday, or if you're choosing to stay at home. Like I say, we're going to Suffolk, to the coast. We only live in Norfolk, so as you can imagine, not very far for us. We're just going for a few days, and it's just, we want the break for the relaxation and the time away to chill and not basically have to do anything, which is quite nice. And we're going to go out for lots of nice food and make sure we're weighted on hand and foot. But we didn't feel that a holiday abroad this year was the right thing for us to do. We just think we'll stay at home, stay with our comforts, especially as the virus hasn't yet gone away. Yeah, so we're staying where we know and love. So talking of that, like I said, me and my sister went on a little trip, we'll call it a trip. We just went for one night to Cambridge because my sister had never been before. So we decided to go, and whilst we were there, we managed to get tickets to go to the University Botanical Gardens, which another place I've never been before. I'm always open to exploring new places. So whilst I was walking around, I thought, oh, I know, I bet everyone on YouTube will want to see some pictures and footage of when we were there. Now, there isn't a lot. I don't like to bombard you with like hours and hours of my footage of, you know, random-ish stuff, because I think, oh, would I want to watch, I don't know, Fred's home videos for 3 hours? Probably not. But it's all about plants, it's all about gardening, and it was brilliant. There, if you haven't been, it's well worth a visit. Tickets were surprisingly cheap. So I think it was like £6 to get in, and you pretty much get to stay as long as you want, exploring the gardens and the greenhouses. Oh my goodness, the greenhouses were amazing. And in each one they have, I don't want to give too much away, but in each greenhouse they have a different climate. I'm sure I got loads of pictures. So in one greenhouse it's like a desert climate and it's full of cacti, and then in the next one it's like a rainforest climate where there's all vines hanging down and lily pads I could sit in. They were, I'm not exaggerating when I say this big. I did take pictures that I'll show you, but they were enormous. You could sit on them and like float across a lake on these lily pads. They were absolutely massive. And the whole thing was really, really impressive. For the foodies among you, there's also a cafe there, so you can sit and have coffee and cake. And there's also a little gift shop there as well. It's about a 10-15 minute walk from Cambridge City. So we walked and then walked back. And oh yeah, really peaceful, really relaxing. We had a really lovely time. So before I go, I will show you some footage of that now. And if you get the chance, do go and take a visit, because it really was fab. But I hope you're all well. I hope you are all getting a nice break at some point this year. Let me know, like I said, where you're going, what you're getting up to, and fill me in. And also, if there's any other places that maybe I should plan to visit in summer, for those day trips or just magical places, because you know there are these hidden gems all over the country, and sometimes I don't think we appreciate what we've got right on our doorstep. But here's the footage. I'll see you guys next week. Look after each other, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.